Hey guys, I'm Marcus Buff Bagwell, and one thing most people don't know is that I was in the very first match on the very first pay-per-view that TNA ever did, June 19th, 2002 in Huntsville, Alabama. But before we dive in, be sure to click the subscribe button right here on this video to stay in the loop for future videos. And if you want to check out wrestling, sports merch, or my own merch, or even book a cameo, then click the links to the description of the video. Now let's get started. June 19th, 2002, and I'm in Alabama. TNA is a brand new thing. It's going to be, the next place to go to. It's going to be a big company. Everybody's really excited because, the WCW is gone, and it was devastating, but it's gone. And that first year, in 2001, there was the WWA, and a lot of the people were in Australia. I believe, and I don't know the facts behind it, but I do believe that Australia, the trip to Australia with the WWA, World Wrestling All-Stars, communication for TNA started overseas. It was Jeff Jarrett talking to a guy named Michael McManus that owned the WWA. And I think from there is what stent the birth of TNA, and I don't know the facts behind all that, but one day hopefully we can talk to Jeff Jarrett about that and get it, but Jeff would definitely know the facts behind that. So here we're going into Huntsville, Alabama. I am Buff Bagwell off of a 10-year WCW run that was phenomenal, a blast, a lot of fun, and a Hall of Fame type career going, and excited about pro wrestling. June 19th, 2002 is on the calendar coming up. Very excited about this company called TNA. Great initials. It stands for a couple different things, but we thought it was a really cool wrestling on the edge name. And so I get my itinerary to what I need to do, and Jeff had called me up and the office people and to say, hey, we need you at two different places, because it was going to be a pay-per-view. It was live that day. And so I remember it was a giant deal. Toby Keith was going to be there singing live. It was a giant event. So I had to do two live shows in Alabama promoting this show. So I went to this newscast that I went on live, and both places was really a tough thing to get done. We went to one, and then we hurried to get to the other one, and we barely made it. And it was just it wasn't an easy thing to do. It was actually very tough. I remember that. And when we got them completed, and then I remember we rolled up to the building in Huntsville, Alabama there. And I remember seeing Toby Keith and walking in and stuff, and I was like, man, this is going to be a big deal, And here I have been part of advertising, and again, coming off a 10-year run with WCW, I'm excited. I'm very excited. I go inside, and we get in there, and I see that they've got a 20-man battle royal that's going to start the whole show off. And so, of course, there's catering, and everybody's talking and having fun and just getting ready for the big debut of TNA. And we go into the finish room, and I find out that I'm the first one thrown out of the pay-per-view battle royal. And I'm like, keep in mind, coming off of the wrestler that's hard to get along with, Rumor, he complains about everything, Rumor, all of the rumors. So, of course, didn't say one thing about it. I remember going to my friends and going, why would he hire me to go do all of the live streaming stuff to advertise for this show if they're going to beat me, the very first person thrown over the rope? But never talked to an office person about it, didn't complain, just did what I was supposed to do. And and just was just blown away by the fact of, that I was getting thrown out first in the battle royal. I was so scared from what happened at the WWF at the time, WWE. I was so scared from having any kind of attitude because of the rumors and all the stuff that came out of that. The last thing I want to do is have more bad rumors going over me, but didn't say a word, and remember getting thrown over the top rope and thinking, wow, this can't be a good thing. So that happened that way, and then I was very popular still, so my phone rang a lot, and I did a lot of business, in the States and overseas, but a lot of bookings every weekend I was somewhere. I made a lot of money over the next years. It just was a very hard time to make money because every town was a different promoter. So it was California, Rome, Georgia, New York, Florida, and that's 4 days. So there'll be a weekend loop of 3 different states, 3 different flights. So it was a very tough to make money, but was making it and working hard to do it. Loved the business. But about 2 years later, after the debut in Huntsville, Alabama on June 19th, 2002, a couple years later, there was another chance. Now, Sting's at TNA, my buddy Sting, and he calls me up to tell me they got something for me down there. I'm all excited. I was in real good shape, I remember, and excited to be in good shape for the event. I tried to stay in shape because you never know when you're going to get that call. And I was ready. I was ready for this one. The angle was there were 3 people up for the position to be Sting's tag partner. And it was Samoa Joe, Lex Luger, and Marcus Buff Bagwell were the options. No offense, but Samoa Joe really wasn't a name yet. I didn't know him. And I'm coming off a run where, a lot of guys look really good. And all of a sudden I'm seeing this heavy set guy that's supposedly tough. I don't know what that does with pro wrestling, but to me, it was a no-brainer, man. You got me and Sting, we're lifelong friends, and we're buddies, and we both work out, and we're tan, and we train. And then there's this fat kid that is chubby and very athletic, very tough, but I didn't get it. And then there's Lex, and Lex was really on his last leg, God bless him. His hips were really bad. This is right before he got the spinal stroke, so he wasn't in no shape to do it at all. I really thought that it would be a no-brainer, Buff and Sting, boom, here we go. And I was part of blowing a lot of stuff down there, but on this one, they did pick Samoa Joe over me. I didn't understand. I wasn't mad. I just didn't understand. And the TNA thing just never worked out for me. One time they wanted to lose the Buff Bagwell name. And I was like, why are we trying to lose my name? Ricky the Steamboat was going to come in and, help me be Marcus again and not Buff. And of course, 0 complaints. I did what they asked me to do. I remember that ringside getting beat by, I think it was Lenny Lane. And I remember getting beat and rolling to the apron, and one of our writers was right there, and he said, hey, and I go, I'm just tired of Buff. And I did the whole promo they told me to do, and then they had promised me that Ricky Steamboat was going to be my valet. And I never saw Ricky Steamboat. Very good friends with Ricky Steamboat. I love Ricky Steamboat. Never saw Ricky Steamboat. So, for whatever the reasons, I'm sure I did some kind of, they saw me messed up a certain area, maybe smelled alcohol on my breath. There's a million reasons why, but I did not know why. But it just never got the full shot at TNA. I had a lot of friends there and stuff, and there was definitely times that I definitely did blow it at TNA, where I'd gotten drunk one night with the Nasty Boys and showed my butt, and gotten I don't think they ever called me again after that one, but I definitely burned my bridges there. But it wasn't before, again, that they could have used me in a pretty good spot and didn't. So there was something there they didn't want of Marcus Buff Bagwell, and it is their choice, of course. But I really would love to have been a part of that, but again, it didn't work out, and the next 18 years went to a pretty good addiction, and fought a bunch of demons along the way and never conquered them. But at the same time, it was a lot of fun to be part of the first TNA show, and I just hate that it didn't go anywhere.